Hello everyone, welcome back to this series of tutorials about magnetic switches and the Hall effect keyboards. In this tutorial, we'll dive deep into the customization of a magnetic keyboard through the Keychron launcher. I'll briefly introduce the HE mode interface, then I'll jump right into the customization of the actuation distance and the rapid trigger mode. Let's take a look at the interface. At first sight, it might look a little bit overwhelming, but our designers included small tips here and there to help you better understand what you're actually customizing. Starting from the top, you can see that the launcher provides 3 different profile layers, but I will talk more about it later. Here, you can find all the features that you can modify. Let's begin with the actuation point. The first column is where you can set the trigger point. Select one or multiple keys that you want to customize. Then slide the toggle to the desired actuation distance and submit it. You might have noticed a number at the bottom of each key. It is the value of the actuation point. You can choose to hide or show this number under all keys, besides viewing it only with the toggle. Remember, the lower the number, the faster the response is, because a lower number means a shorter trigger distance and a faster input. But also keep in mind that faster means more sensitive, so choosing a shorter trigger distance doesn't necessarily mean better performances, because it might become too difficult for you to control your key. It is recommended to keep the trigger distance between 1 mm and 1.5 mm. But of course, feel free to play around with your keyboard. If you activate this toggle, you can see on the spot the movement of each key and how the response works. So, if for example we track the key that we just modified, you can see the exact point where the key sends its signal. Orange means triggered, green means resting. Now, let's see the first of those functions that can make the difference when you're gaming: the rapid trigger. This mode allows you to release and repeatedly activate keys at a much faster rate than is physically possible on a traditional keyboard, without waiting for them to fully reset to the initial position. Normally, this setting is turned off. You can modify multiple keys at once or just a single one separately. By default, you have to get all the way down to the actuation point, which is 2 mm, for you to trigger your key, and then wait for it to bounce back to 1.8 mm for the trigger to reset. As you can see here, when we activate it, the rapid trigger is set to 0.4 mm by default. But if you drag this toggle, you can reset your sensitivity to whatever your preferences are. You can even bring it down to 0.1 mm. Lower values mean higher sensitivity and vice versa. Now, the key doesn't need to go back above the actuation point anymore to be reactivated. It just needs to travel back 0.4 mm for it to be instantly retriggered. Let's give it a test, shall we? I will set the sensitivity of the WASD keys down to 0.2 mm. As you can see, the movements of my character retrigger faster if compared to when the rapid trigger is off. Now, I can trigger the key continuously even below the actuation point. Concretely speaking, this means that you can start and stop actions faster for more sensitive movements. This way, your character will switch faster into static, accurate aiming, giving you the ultimate edge on your opponent. The applications of the rapid trigger are not just limited to this. For example, you can also cast more abilities and pick up items faster. You can even take it a step further by toggling the advanced function on. It is divided into 2 settings. One adjusts the sensitivity of the reset point, and the second adjusts the sensitivity of the trigger point. This way, not only you'll be able to choose the retrigger distance, but you will also control the exact distance at which the key will reset. Like so, you will not need to go all the way to the top to reset the command of your key. Even for this function, you can decide to show or hide the values just by clicking on this toggle. The number on top is the reset distance. The number below is the triggering distance. Remember I mentioned profile layers at the beginning of this tutorial? Well, profile layers will come in handy because they allow you to store more than one customization profile. So, depending on the game that you're playing, you can easily switch between layers. Small tip: press these key combinations to switch faster between profile layers. These two functions alone should already boost your gaming a lot. But you can make it even better with some other amazing features, which will be a topic for next tutorials. For now, I hope I've helped you grasp these two functions. See you in the next one.